Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the update. I'm Brooke Wolford.
And I'm Tim Kearny. Folks, if you're tuned into this show, it means you either have an insatiable thirst for breaking news that everyone already knows about, or you got lost looking for the Rabbit Hat Shopping Network on public access. We hope it's the former. Here are your top stories.
We all know that the minions from Despicable Me need someone to tell them what to do and point them in a useful direction that will help their evil overlord. This time, however, they're looking to the Dutch. A new use for the adorable little yellow versions of Tim was made public after a flight from the Netherlands to Chile resulted in Chilean agents confiscating 101 pills of minion-shaped ecstasy. In other news, sales for minion-shaped children's vitamins have surged in the last week among adults who don't even have children.
Well, that explains all the 8-year-olds I saw on the playground the other day dancing around to Skrillex wearing tons of neon. If I remember correctly, one of them was just lying on the ground making snow angels in the grass. I have to admit, they did look really happy. I wonder if I can still find some of those at Walmart.
Tim, your story?
Last week at the Democratic Town Hall in South Carolina, Hillary Clinton said she very much wants to expand the school day and school year. I, for one, am not surprised at all by her comments. I mean, if ever there were a presidential candidate that looks exactly like your recently divorced 5th grade teacher who calls your parents over break to see if you're working on your project, it's H. Clin. We're guessing she might want to implement some sort of national curriculum on email cybersecurity.
Earlier this month, Subway announced they are raising the price of their $5 footlongs to $6. Subway claims the price increase is due to the fact that their costs have gone up over the years. But we here at the update know it's because they're secretly raising money to get their beloved spokesman Jared Fogle out of prison, where he's not, shall we say, eating so fresh anymore. In response to the price increase, Larry David impersonator Bernie Sanders said he believes it's outrageous that people should have to pay for sandwiches at all, leading to his new campaign slogan, Bernie 2016. Pretty much Oprah, except with tuna melts instead of cars.
Well, folks, it's been a long time coming, but it is our honor here on the update to officially announce that in 2015, our planet, Earth, had the highest number of unprovoked shark attacks in recorded history. There were 98 total, 59 of which were in U.S. waters. Ha! America wins again. I knew I loved living in this country for some reason.
Tim, that's not good at all. That's not a record that we wanted to break.
Come on, Brooke. This is America. We want to be number one in everything, and now we officially are.
No, that only applies for things like the Olympics and being the first on the moon. We don't want to be number one in shark attacks, better known as people getting seriously harmed, Tim.
Brooke, haven't you heard of Shark Week? I'm pretty sure everyone in the country is pro-shark.
Tim, there's no such thing as pro-shark. It's not as if there is a competition for most attacks.
That's where you'd be wrong, Brooke. U.S. is number one for shark attacks. Chile is number one for seal attacks. And South Africa is the leader in whale attacks. Why have stupid little races around tracks when you can see which country can produce the most blood in their oceans?
How do you even know those statistics?
Popsicle sticks and Snapple cans.
Changing gears, we now send our program 3,000 miles away to our very own Bailley Sims in the warm, humid, and charmingly bigoted state of Mississippi. What do you have for us, Bailley? Something about a new holiday?
Well, Brooke, from the people that still call the Civil War the War of Northern Aggression, and honestly believe it had nothing to do with slavery, Mississippi brings you Confederate Heritage Month in April. Mississippi Governor Phil Bryant came up with a lovely idea and took careful steps to plan out almost every day of the month. To start, April 1st will be the equally logical Slave Owner Appreciation Day, followed by the Nazi Heritage/History Day on the 2nd, and Terrorists, Traitors, and Insurrections Heritage and Appreciation Day on April 3rd. That 3-day weekend will consist of We Swear It Was Only About Taxes, Stop Rewriting History Day on April 4th, before what I'm sure will be everyone's favorite, But Y'all Would Def Be Slaves If We Won Day on April 5th. Should be a lovely day for a barbecue. Moving on, April 6th will be Damn, we lost segregation too. Day before the festivities wrap up on April 8th with Damn it, who screwed up the white patriarchy system? I really enjoyed oppressing every minority group and women. Day of solemn remembrance and mourning. I'm sure these holidays will rapidly improve race relations, Brooke. Personally, I can't wait for the mattress sales. Back to you.
I don't know, Bailey, but my calendar looks like it's going to be full for the year. Got a lot of celebrating to do. What do you have for us, Jordan?
In recent news, Oprah openly supports a very controversial subject in everyone's daily lives, bread. Sorry, I didn't quite say that right. I mean bread. Oprah talks about her very serious and committed relationship with bread. I personally am so happy that Oprah came out to talk to us all about bread because frankly, I don't think most of the world would have known about bread before Oprah's commercial. People would have been stupidly putting their sandwich between two slices of tomatoes if it hadn't been for Oprah. Unfortunately, everyone mistook Oprah's enthusiasm for bread that it meant to eat only bread, and 75% of people on the Weight Watchers diet have gained an average of 20 pounds in the last week, and several people have been admitted into the hospital after a bread overdose. Everyone knows that Leo finally won his Oscar at the 88th Academy Awards, yet those of us from the internet are mourning the loss of our favorite meme. Leo, though, being the internet's favorite son, restored our hearts with his reaction to the Girl Scout cookies that he bought during the event. My only wish is that someone would look at me the way Leonardo DiCaprio looks at Do-si-dos. In honor of her dad's birthday, Kim Kardashian shared the first photo of her son, Satan West. The proud mom writes, Today is my dad's birthday. I know there's nothing more in the world he would have wanted than to meet his grandchildren, so I wanted to share this pic of Saint with all of you. Saint is wearing a white thermal that's probably equivalent to Kanye's debt, and he's sleeping with his hands raised above his head. Prior to posting Saint's picture, Kim honored her late father, Robert Kardashian, with a birthday post. She writes, Happy birthday, Dad. I can't believe you would have been 72 today. So much has gone on in our lives since you've been gone, and I know you have been my guardian angel seeing everything unfold. I love you and miss you so much. Yes, Kim, we're sure he's proud of all of your accomplishments.
We now turn to the sports world with the only girl I know named after a borough. What's up, Brookelynn?
Well, to lead off, pun very much intended, spring training has begun for Major League Baseball teams around the country, with the Toronto Blue Jays and Kansas City Royals leading the list of favorites to win it all in October. Personally, I like the Texas Rangers, because if the Bush family can run a ball club anywhere near as well as they can run a country, you'd be foolish to pick against them. It's about that time of year when the world of college basketball is about to become relevant with the American tradition that rises above all others, March Madness. Now, many people see March Madness brackets as a surefire way of tearing the very fabric of your closest friendships, a peg or two below wearing the same outfit to a company Christmas party. But I'm here to reassure you that it's just basketball. I mean, honestly, the whole thing really just gets blown up to such a dramatic extreme. Having said that, I swear if Oregon doesn't make it to at least the Elite Eight, I'll never talk to my UVO friend Samantha again. Lastly, University of Alabama running back Kenyon Drake took to Twitter last week when he said that his head coach Nick Saban is, quote, the most powerful man in the country. Now, for those of you not constantly staying on top of Kennedy's social media accounts, the bold statement was multiplied tenfold when it was written right above a photo of the two of them in the White House where, the leader of the free world lives. But hey, maybe he's right. I mean, anybody can give speeches, launch missiles, shake hands with Raul Castro, but can President Obama watch film of Clemson and know exactly whether or not he wants to run a four-man split-gap covered defense or instead go nickel package man-to-man? I didn't think so. That's all I've got for you guys. And I'm serious, Samantha, if they lose, we're over.
People texting while walking has become something of a second nature to many of us. But sadly, there are some people that have not quite advanced as far as we have in this regard. I'm talking about England. Well, Salisbury Cathedral in Wiltshire, to be more specific. So many people have been bumping into a 20-foot tall sculpture that forms an archway over a path on the cathedral grounds that the sculpture is being moved. The sculpture is The Kiss. No, not Gene Simmons and Kiss. The Kiss by Sophie Ryder. Now, that's just a picture of Winona Ryder kissing someone. It's the one that looks like this. Thanks. So some officials at the cathedral were asked about moving the sculpture, and they tried very hard not to specifically say the reason to move it was clumsy texters. They did admit that during the hours of darkness, incidents of bumping the sculpture were up.
In closing for tonight, all of those pulls off the wine bag are really adding up, Cougs. That's right. In 2015, millennials drank more wine than any other generation, adding up to almost 160 million cases of the stuff. That's 42% of all wine consumed last year. Not that that has anything to do with college or partying. Probably just adds up from all the time millennials spend going to wine tastings and sipping on Merlot while eating fancy steak expensive dinners. I know that's what I do. I definitely don't ever chug wine out of an upside-down bag of Franzia in messy, loud apartments filled with other sweaty, drunk millennials. And I never slap it to assert my dominance. Never.
Feel like we learned a lot about you tonight, Tim. Thanks for sharing. That's all tonight. I'm Brooke Wolford. Cross your fingers, you'll see us next week.
And I'm Tim Kearny. Have a good evening.